And as John noted, for the third time in 9 years, the Supreme Court has rejected a Republican effort to invalidate Obamacare, this time by a convincing 7-2 vote. And it's not the first time that Trump-nominated justices have handed the former president a loss. Let's talk now with Ariane DeVogue. She is our CNN Supreme Court reporter. There were actually two big rulings yesterday, Ariane.
Right. The Affordable Care Act will remain in place, meaning millions and millions of Americans will keep their health care. The vote was 7-2. Justice Breyer wrote the decision. But what's interesting here is Justice Amy Coney Barrett and Justice Brett Kavanaugh, two of Trump's nominees, they were in the majority here. Now, the court didn't issue this big ruling on the constitutionality of the law. Instead, it issued a ruling based on a threshold issue. It said that the Republican-led states didn't have the legal right to bring the challenge because they couldn't point to a specific legal injury. So what the Supreme Court did is dismiss the case. Dismiss the challenge. But what's interesting here is remember how hard President Trump fought to invalidate this law. And of course, here, two of his nominees voted to allow it to remain in place. And the other case was a religious liberty case. And here, all 9 justices ruled in favor of a Catholic foster care agency that refused to work with same-sex couples out of objections to same-sex marriage. And here, definitely, the 6-justice majority ruled in favor of the agency. But that ruling was very narrowly tailored to what had happened in Philadelphia. The agency won, but 3 other justices, Alito, Gorsuch, and Thomas, they wanted their colleagues to go much further, to issue this landmark opinion, to overturn precedent, to really have an opinion that had nationwide implications. And they didn't have the votes to issue such a big opinion. And that's because Barrett and Kavanaugh weren't ready to go that far. So it's interesting because that issue was key to President Trump's base. They wanted a big ruling here, and they may have felt like the Supreme Court, although the agency won, fell a little bit short of that landmark opinion.
And we've also seen other instances where the conservative majority court has ruled against the former president.
Right. Well, keep in mind that for sure, courts will be President Trump's most lasting legacy. He changed the face of the lower courts, and he also put these 3 Supreme Court justices. But in the short term, he didn't always win. Remember, he wanted the election results overturned, and the Supreme Court issued an order without comment, and they ruled against him. They wouldn't take up that case. And remember his tax returns. His private lawyers wanted the Supreme Court to block the release of his tax returns to that New York prosecutor. And the court, again, without comment, didn't step in to block that. Those tax returns went out. So it's interesting in the long term, for sure. There are now more conservatives on this Supreme Court. The court will be moving to the right. But in the short term, President Trump didn't get all that he wanted at all.
No, it's a very interesting. Ariane, thank you so much for taking us through that. Ariane DeVogue.